All injuries, obviously the latest one, Edmo, we seem to, like you said it, we take a step forward, we take a step back. Where are we at with him?
Well, he's not in today because he's ill for a start. But we had him scanned on Thursday, and I'm still waiting for the report to come back from that. We know that he dislocated his shoulder on Tuesday night. It popped out, and the doctor put it back in. And it must have been a little bit tricky because it took 3 attempts, which I dread to think the pain that Ryan was going through with that. But he came back on the coach with us, and we're just waiting to hear. I'm not expecting it to be particularly good news, if I'm going to be honest with you. And it's just really unfortunate for Edmo that he's just picked up this now after just getting himself back after his ankle problem, and then he's sending off, and it just seems to have been one thing after another. And this was such a daft one as well, because I think the ball was even out of play when he went for the challenge. There was no need for the lad to do it. And I'm not saying there was any malice in the challenge from the Northampton guy, but it's just one of them unfortunate one that Ryan came off on the bad end of it.
He seems to be one of the characters who smiles a lot around the place. What's he like, Edmo, when he's with his ankle that he had that and then this? Is he a strong character?
Yeah, he is a strong character. What I would say though, when you're a professional footballer and you're not able to play, it does affect you. It has an effect on your mental health, and it's something that we have to manage now. We've got to look after him. He's an important part of the group. He's done a really good job for us over recent weeks when he's been available. So it's just another one where we're going to have to get him recovered, and we'll, as soon as we know what the plan is from the scan, then we'll be able to put the things in motion and start it. But until we get that report, and until we know what an orthopaedic surgeon wants to do or doesn't want to do, then we've just got to wait and see, really.
Is this an example of what you were saying the other day about the transfer window? I mean, it seems daft that we've been quizzing you for weeks now about January, but situations change, so that changes. Is that an example with Edmo if it is bad news?
Oh, without a doubt it is, yeah. It's now opened up a situation that we have to look at that position. Now, obviously, we're hopeful of having Amari Patrick back fit soon, but he isn't fit at the moment. So we are certainly a striker and a first-choice striker down. So it opens the door for somebody else. We've got other players who are waiting to get in, but it certainly leaves a big gap. And if it is going to be a month, 2 months, 3 months, then it's a position that we need to look to try and strengthen and to fill. And I'll be honest, we do have options in place because we've looked at what if scenarios, and that was a what if, so we're ready for it. It's just whether we can get them.
John Mellish, is his knee settled?
Yeah, that's settled. Yeah, he's done all the work. We're hoping he's going to be able to join training with the group tomorrow, but it's still a little bit early. I don't really know to say whether he's going to be available for Bradford or not. We're doing everything we can to get him available, but we've got to take a longer term view on it and make sure that he's right when he does come back into it.
We've seen Joel back on the bench. Ben Barkley, he's another one who must be so desperate just to get back.
Yeah, he is, and Ben's a little bit behind Amari and John Mellish, but again, we're hopeful of having him fit again over the next few weeks. It was more a case of just getting the swelling out of the joint, and that now has gone, so we're loading him up in the gym, doing strength work and the plyometric stuff that he has to do. He's not been back out on the grass yet, so I can't give a date of when they're going to return, but I'd like to think it's going to be over the next few weeks.
Tuesday night, you weren't having this on Tuesday night, understandably because of the result, but is it good that we got that Tuesday night 90 minutes into the legs when you think about the busy period coming up?
Well, it was obviously good, but the result wasn't good. It was the result that I wanted. I wanted to get, at least wanted a point out of it. But yeah, in terms of fitness and in terms of getting the rustiness out of the system, then yeah, it was important. I still don't know if we've got it out of our system, if I'm going to be honest with you. I look at training and there's a little bit of rustiness still in there, which is ridiculous because we've been training all the time. I think it's just the difference of getting out on grass and the physical effect that has on the legs and the muscles and stuff like that. So I hope that we come out against Bradford and the rustiness has gone. I hope that we're ready to go and give it a right good go in what is a fantastic game to look forward to.
I know you don't accept that as a manager and a coach. You want the boys to be at it all the time, don't you? Is that frustrating to see?
It's normal. It's just one of them things, really. But yeah, it is frustrating because we try to do the preparation right when they're in the football club. Um, so yeah, there's a bit of a frustration, but there's also a realism that this is just the way life is. You know, I'm watching Man City Liverpool on TV, and I can hear Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp complaining about their players not coming back in good state, and thinking, well, we don't really have your facilities. We don't have the depth of squad that you guys have got. So if they're having a problem, then there's every reason why we're going to have a problem at Carlisle United.
Just to wrap up Tuesday night, how have the lads reacted in the meetings that I'm sure that you've had since?
Oh, they're fine. They're okay. They're all disappointed, obviously, because we let it slip. And all it was a missed opportunity. We had a spell in the game where we didn't deal with the football game properly. There's a minute and a half from us scoring to them equalising, and there's 2.5 minutes to them getting the other goal. And that spell of, you can't do that, regardless of whatever level you're at, you just can't do it. You have to stay at it. And again, referring back to the City-Liverpool game, Man City go ahead just after half-time, and within a minute or so, then Liverpool are equalising. So the top players do it, and you know, but we don't want it. We want them to be better than that. We want to stay front foot. The thing that I picked up was that when we went 1-0 up, we dropped off and let them play. And it doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you give players time, they can find the passes, and we got a little bit ragged, and that's something we need to be better at. Maybe there's a lack of experience, a lack of football nous that caused that. I don't really know, but we have to get back to it. You know, this group have been really, really good for 21 games. We've been really good. We sat 7th in the table. I'm going to be really honest, I did not expect that. I didn't think we were going to be at that point. So we have done really well. Big challenge now is, can we keep ourselves there, or even better? Can we make the squad even stronger in January? Can the players who've performed for us for these 21, can they attain these levels again? Can we maintain it for the next 25? And that's all I'm bothered about, and we've just got to try and keep working to do that.
And when we're seventh in the table, because when we've had a disappointment, we've reacted. That's why we are where we are.
Yeah, I think good sides do, and after 21 games we are classed as a good side because the league table says that. But I want to be better. You know, I do think that if we'd have been slightly better on Tuesday, we would have taken at least a point out of it, and we'd have been better than 7th in the table. And I know every manager will say the same, the ifs and buts and all those sorts of stuff. So we've just got to make sure that we keep striving to improve the whole football club. Everything about it has to keep improving if we want to keep moving forward, which is what I've come here to try and do.
That top half of the table, it's so tight, isn't it? And these games like the one on Monday, they're important.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, because Bradford, they're level on points with us. We've played a game more than them. So we've got to do it right, and what a great game to look forward to. That's one thing I've said to the players there. Yes, we're all disappointed. We know we could have done better on Tuesday. What a good game to look forward to. Good crowd at home, Boxing Day game. I don't get this thing, you know, I don't get that footballers are disappointed because we have to play at Christmas. This is a brilliant time of year as a footballer, as a football person. So there's no complaints. We're really looking forward to it, and we want to go and get stuck into it.
You mentioned the crowd. We're expecting 1,500 of them. That'll be noisy. 5.5 to 6 of ours, maybe more. If it keeps going the way it is now, that's fantastic to look forward to.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, a great day to look forward to. And you know, I even heard the weather forecast coming in this morning. They were saying it's going to be dry up until later in the day. That's perfect. You know, let's get a good crowd. Let's get a good atmosphere. More importantly, let's get a performance, and let's get a result that keeps us going.
Mark Hughes has got some good players there.
Oh, they're a good squad. You know, I fully expected them to be pushing up in those automatic places, if I'm going to be honest with you. They've assembled a real good group of players, good individuals, good collectively. I don't know the reasons why they've picked up some dodgy results of late. It's funny because when I was looking at the league table and I saw that we were a place above them, I thought, well, if we can finish the season one place above them, we'll have done really well, because I think they will come good in the second half of the season. We've just got to make sure it's not on Boxing Day. And
again, like ourselves, they've got a man up front who's scoring for fun this season, so that's something else to consider.
Yeah, they've got him. They've got other individuals. They've got a good group of players. It's as simple as that. And we know we're going to have to be on our game. Simple as that. We need to be. Everybody who gets selected has to be absolutely spot on. So no excuses, no too much turkey, no extra pigs in blankets, none of that. Enjoy your day, but make sure that we are absolutely ready to go on Boxing Day.
What do you do with the boys, not just this next couple of days, but this next week or so, when you've got the festivities, the family aspect, but also Crewe and Doncaster after Bradford?
Well, we've sort of tried to build into it, to be honest with you. With obviously getting the game arranged on Tuesday sort of changed the plans a little bit, because we then had to bring them in extra days and that sort of stuff. But no, it's part and parcel of being involved in football. You just have to prepare properly, whatever you do. And we'll train and we'll prepare right, and we'll go into the Bradford game with the knowledge of what they're capable of doing, but also hopefully knowing what we need to do to go and win the game.
You said this last interview, but this sort of clutch of games is so important.
Yeah, it is, yeah, because they come thick and fast, and it can put real markers down. You know, we're 21 in, 22 on Boxing Day, 23 Crewe. You get to the January the 1st game at Doncaster, and you're on your way in now. You've turned the corner, and you're on the stretch to get in. And we've got to make sure that we do it properly, so that come 10, 12 games to go, we are still in a good position and we're ready to go and kick on, and hopefully we'll have improved the squad in January. Hopefully we'll have got players back fit, and maybe even get a little bit better luck in terms of injury in the second half of the season, and we can go and do ourselves justice.
You sort of touched on the answer to this earlier, but with the points we've got now, the position that is better than you've revealed that you expected it to be. We're so close to that 42 figure that you mentioned way back in June. Probably hanging yourself out to dry there by doing that, but do you reassess once you get to that point with so many games left to play? Is that when you reassess?
Yeah, well, I still think we need 9 to be safe. That's still my first thought, and that's what disappoints me, because we should have been closer to that 42 mark in the games that we slipped up. That has to be the first point for us, because we're not. I don't believe we are in a position where we can expect to be going in those automatic. I'll do everything to get there. I want these players to do everything to get there, but we've still got a long way to go. And I think, even though I said on Tuesday night we had a 4 or 5 minute spell where we lost the plot a bit, I think for the majority of the game we held our own against a team who are rightly so up in those top places, because they consistently ask questions of the opposition. They put the ball into areas where you've got to defend. They compete, they run, and we're chasing that. That's the sort of level that I want to get to. Now I think we're assembling a better group of players, certainly a better mentality about them, but we've got to keep going, and that's where the challenge comes in January, to see if we can add players who are going to try and make us even better without derailing what we've done so far.
It's a great point, that, isn't it? Because it's not just about bringing in players for positions, but if you get the right characters, it just lifts everybody.
Yeah, it does, and that's what we have to get. We have to get the right type of personality in, somebody who will fit into the group here, or we don't know for definite, but somebody who we hope will fit into the group here, but also have the ability to able to go and affect games, which is where we all get judged.
With that little gap between the Dunny game and the Newport game, is that when you want to hopefully strike in the transfer market?
I would like to, yeah. We can't bring anybody in for the Doncaster game, but we then have 2 weeks where we can give them a bit of rest time, but also get some work into them, and I'm hoping that we are able to. Now, it changes. I had a day early on in the week where it looked really promising, and we had things that we thought were going to happen, and then suddenly on Wednesday things change and it's different. Ryan Edmondson gets injured, and I'm looking at a different position or a different type of player. So it just keeps changing all the time, and I always say it, until they're actually signed and in the building, I don't believe it's going to happen. So we've just got to keep our fingers crossed and keep banging doors and hoping they come.
Do you expect it to be a hectic month, or is it one where it's going to be measured and plug in the gaps that may you feel may be there?
I'm sitting here now hoping it's measured, but it doesn't always work that way. I'd like to think that it ain't going to be a scramble on the last day like it was last transfer window for Carlisle United. I do think we've got a plan in place, and we've got names, and we've had scouting done on them, so we're not just plucking names out of the air or getting suggestions off an agent or a club. We have got a plan in place that I'd like to think will work, but I don't know. until, and as I said, until they're signed and in the building, you just can't tell.
And that plan can change if those phone calls that I'm hoping you still haven't had come the other way.
Yeah, no, I haven't had any phone calls about taking our players away, but it could change, so we'll just wait and see. We're in a good place, we're in a good position, and listen, if the fact that we're sat 7th in the table and we've done okay for the first half of the season attracts other clubs, we can't do anything about that. I want more and more players being headhunted, and it's our job to try and keep them as much as we can. Now, ultimately that will come down to finances, because I've said it many times, this isn't a football club that's awash with money, so we need to do everything we can to try and keep the group together, but also make sure financially we're in a good position as well.
I've not had a chance to ask you this because last time you were here the transfer policy was different from the EFL. Are you a fan of this window and sticking with what you've got at our level?
No, I'm not at our level. No, I don't think it's a good idea, because you end up running with a bigger squad than you probably need to, just to make sure you're safe, and that stretches clubs financially. So no, I'm not a fan of it. I think there should be a bit more leeway, even the loan window, and I know we're dictated to by FIFA and UEFA in terms of loans, but I just think that you have to make a commitment to have a big group together to start the season, or to start the season to take you through the first half, and financially that's a huge cost to us. So it's not ideal. It is what we have to deal with, so we've just got to crack on.
Chris Brunskill, it's somebody who knows the club. That must be a huge benefit to everybody.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, I was absolutely gutted when Ross told me he wanted to go, because of the deal that he's been offered. And I can't, I tried to keep him, but we couldn't afford to. It's simple as that. And we advertised, and straight away, I think it was within about 30 minutes of the ad going out, we had a call from Chris to say that he was interested, and that straight away is massive. Now, there was a couple of other people who I wanted to interview. One of them, when I tried to contact her, she never even bothered replying to me, so I don't know what happened there, and that was before she even knew what the money was, so I don't know what happened there, so that was disappointing. But Chris has made it really clear that he wanted to come back. He said he only left the club because he could never see Ross leaving. He thought Ross was here for the next 15 years. So he knows Carlisle, he knows the football club, and he's got some experience of working with the first team at Blackburn Rovers. So I'm delighted he's agreed to join us, and I'm looking forward to getting started with him.
Just finally, Paul, I know personally you've got a massively close family, the way that you do things. Do you get a chance to switch off Christmas Day, or is it always going to be Bradford in the back of the mind?
No, it's always. I mean, we were talking the other day, myself and Jackie, and she was saying, will you switch off at any point? And I just had to say, I can't. It's still there, it's work, and I'm going to really enjoy Christmas Day. This is the first day, I think, probably for about 10 years, that I've got all three of the boys with us, with their partners. And obviously we've got little Lottie now as well, so, and my mum and dad coming, so we have got a proper full house. But that's why I came back here. That's why I came back, because I wanted to be in this football club working, so I will not switch off from Bradford, but I also wanted to be near my family, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And just finally, is it true that with football people, when you're having those Christmases where you have got nothing to think about football-wise, they're not as good because it's about being in the game?
It is, yeah. These are the games. I mean, I used to hate it when I was working at the FA, and I could do what I wanted, but you want to be involved, you want to be playing. I mean, I know it can be a bind 26, 29 and first, but it's a bind when you're not involved in it, and you're clicking your heels and trying to work out what to do. And I'm quite sure Jackie will be sick of the sight of me by the end of Christmas Day. She will be pushing me out the door to go and play in this game on Boxing Day.
Merry Christmas and thank you.